Let's talk preliminary finals in the AFL. The first one is on a Friday night, Geelong taking on Hawthorn in a classic rivalry. This game is really shaping up to be an absolute classic between two old rivals playing good attacking footy, tactically adept coaches. So who knows which way it's going to go? We'll have some idea. So as you can see, the Cats are slight favourites, or actually pretty strong favourites in the bookies' eyes. Being $1 clear in a preliminary final is a pretty big swing. You have to think the way Geelong Cats have been playing this whole year and having a bit of extra time off, they should have the edge in that regard. Let's look at the recent matchups. It's all one-way traffic with Geelong. Two pretty big wins last year, so you can't read too much into that. It's a different year, but Geelong have had the ascendancy lately. The last matchup was very close. Geelong got a narrow win, winning by 7 points on Easter Monday. Another absolute classic between these sides. Could see something similar on Friday night. There's only 2 wins to split them in the home and away season, so you can't really. Should be a close game realistically, and the form guide's pretty even as well. Geelong 5-0 and just taking it pretty much cruise control. You can kind of compare the two last games they played against the Lions. The Cats absolutely dominated them, while the Hawthorn got dominated. The scoreline kind of flattered them, but yeah, they were pretty well beaten in that game. The Hawks tended to possess the ball a little bit more, which is interesting. Would have thought the Cats were pretty strong under possession, but yeah, inside 50. So Geelong are obviously more efficient when they get the ball. Yeah, they keep control of the ball. They're more of a kick mark type of side. Well, let's look at the teams, baby. Oh, here we go. Full team lineups. No updates. Yeah, they're going unchanged both sides from last week, which is an interesting call. Usually teams make 1 or 2 changes, but interesting, yeah. Both pretty strong sides on paper. Yeah, key matchups. Yeah, Ocean Mullen's probably going to go to Joe Newcombe to curtail his influence. He's not starting according to this initial team sheet, so if they're going to start with Tom Atkins first and then switch over and see how that goes, but should be interesting tactical matchups all around the ground. Does make it interesting, doesn't it? Given this, I don't know. I've had a strong feeling that Geelong should have the edge in this one, kind of all week leading up to it. Not saying Hawks don't have any chance, but Geelong's senior players and the younger players with talent and run should be able to get them over the line over the Hawks. They just have a bit more talent overall. Head to head, their top 10 are probably pretty even, but it's the back 12 to 13 players on Geelong's list. They don't really have many weaknesses. Hawthorn have a few players that are like borderline, should be in the squad, borderline should be out. So in saying that, Geelong should win by 24 points in my opinion. Could still see the Hawks swinging it and winning within a goal. I think, yeah, if the Hawks are to win, it'd be a very tight match right to the end and I'm kicking a goal late to seal it, but I think Cats can keep control of the game pretty solidly, get out to a 30 plus point margin and kind of take their foot off and win by low 20s. But of course, let me know what you think. Are you excited to see this game? The AFL media seems to be happy about these preliminary matchups, and typically they do lean strongly to good contests. So hopefully that's what we get on the weekend. Don't want to see any more blowouts in uncompetitive games because kind of kills the mood for it, doesn't it? Anyways, we'll move on to the second preliminary final on Saturday afternoon. Collingwood hosting the Brisbane Lions. Okay, we got Collingwood playing host to the Brisbane Lions at the MCG in a big prelim. Who's going to win? Let's find out. Looks like another classic matchup. The two teams that don't like each other very much and have had real close matchups in recent history. Collingwood go in, decent favourites, about 54 cents. Not that really matters too much, but yeah. Obviously, they're winning the first prelim and being at home at the MCG, even though Brisbane won their last time. They're giving Collingwood the slight edge on that. Big news stories, no Bobby Hill. And they're bringing in Jeremy Howe, so that's interesting. Yep. As you can see, Will Parker, pretty stiff to be dropped. He played well against Adelaide, but obviously they've gone for the experience of Jeremy Howe, which could be costly. It's a big call. They obviously want the extra marking defender or instead of a small defender, as they think, Brisbane's mids to tall forwards could get them done. See how long Jeremy Howe lasts in this matchup. In his last couple of games, he's come out pretty quickly, so hopefully for his sake he can run out the match. Obviously, the last 3 matchups only a couple of weeks ago, or 6 to 7 weeks ago, time flies pretty quickly. Collingwood lost pretty handily in the second half blitz against the Lions there. But then again, earlier on in the year, Collingwood beat Brisbane on their home deck. But then again, just bloody having an argument with myself, but Brisbane's away form has been better than their home form this year, which is an interesting trend that doesn't usually happen for them. So it's kind of hard to read into that too much, isn't it? And then another big classic matchup, Collingwood beating Brisbane by 1 point, and that's another instant classic between the two sides. And then you've obviously got the grand final the year before that, where Collingwood won in by 4 points, I think, or maybe even less. So 2 matches before last, they were pretty close, but the last 2 have been pretty decisive one way or the other. So does that make it even? I don't know. Obviously, there was only 2 points separating them on the ladder, with Brisbane having that costly draw against North Melbourne earlier in the year to keep them that draw. They could have finished higher up, probably second on the ladder, actually. Look at the run form in both. Collingwood's form pre-finals was pretty 3-2. Can't read too much into it though, I guess. It's got this 2-3 and 3-2. So both teams have had mixed performances, haven't they? So how much can you read into that? Interesting. It's going to be quite the similar affair as the Hawthorn and Geelong game, with Brisbane being much more a possession-based side. Didn't realise and they get more inside 50s. So Collingwood's defence is going to have to be on fire, like Braden Maynard, Jeremy Howe, and what's the name? Darcy Moore are going to have their hands full, aren't they? So if Brisbane's forward line can function well, they have a good chance to winning. They season stats for the year, they win clearance over Collingwood. They control the ball a lot better, and they're more efficient getting inside 50. So, if Brisbane's forward line's functioning, Collingwood could be in trouble. Let's look at the full team sheets. As I said, Brisbane going unchanged. Pretty much their full strength lineup at the moment. They've got some injuries, but they're picking everyone they can. Obviously, no Lockie Neal. No Eric Whitwood, which could be a good thing for him. He's a bit of a up and down kind of performer. He'd either win you a game or lose you a game. More often not lose you a game. Look at these sides there. Billy Frampton, forgot about him. He's playing tall, so he's going to have to He's going to have to play tall. Yeah, I was about to say, it's interesting they've got extra talls in, because Brisbane forward line is missing an actual proper tall target. I guess to curtail Cam Rayner, who plays bigger than he is, and Kyle Chi, they can kind of take overhead marks. Maybe those extra tall defenders are going to help with that. Yeah. Now, what do I think is going to happen? Looking at the stats and the form line, you'd have to say the Lions are going to win, even though Collingwood do rise up for these occasions. So it's kind of hard to go against the Magpies in this one, but I am biased. I do want Brisbane in the final, so I can actually go for someone I actually care about. Because if Collingwood and Geelong grand final will be a bit of a dead rubber for me. Either combination of Collingwood, Hawthorn, or Geelong. Yeah, I don't want any of them to win. So Brisbane's the only team that can live happily with winning, so I'm going to have to pick them to win. And I'm pretty confident in this side to be strong enough to beat the Magpies. How much do I think, though? Brisbane by 11 points. Yeah, I do think it's going to be an arm wrestle, and Collingwood will find a way to keep it close, but I think Brisbane should just have a little bit too much class, depending if they can handle Collins' pressure. If Collins' pressure's right up, then yeah, it could go Collins' way. I'm not saying it's going to be a bloodbath either way, and it's not easy to predict these games, but I have to give Brisbane the slight edge. Of course, let me know what you think. Collingwood have every chance to win, and you can think that, yeah. Would be surprised, Magpies fan, if they do win, so I'm not saying with any great confidence. But hey, again, I'm hoping just for a close and exciting matchup, and if Collingwood win, I'll be heartbroken. But hey, life goes on. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week for the grand final. We'll see who's playing.